Fort construction. How good is it? This is what today's video is focusing on, right to the point. I saw this card in Malta's Age 2 options, fort construction, and it seems to have a pretty intriguing effect. Enables forts to be constructed by your Grandmaster and Sentinels in every age, and increases the fort build limit. So this raises the build limit to 2, and then allows you to build them in the Colonial Age, which makes Malta the one of only 2 civs that have access to an Age 2 fort, the other being India. Now the big difference here is that India gets their aggro fort much sooner than Malta does, because they get theirs right as they hit Age 2. But in exchange, the aggro fort is fucking pathetically weak in comparison to an actual fort. It has just over half the HP, and I think, if my math is correct, 1/6 of the attack of a fort. It's basically just a glorified outpost that can train units. So, fort construction, how good is it, and how good is its potential? Now, on paper, this sounds pretty cool. The ability to make a fort is very valuable, especially in 1v1 games, or just in general. The smaller a map is, the more a fort is worth, because its radius and its radius and range covers a larger portion of the map. But while on paper that sounds pretty cool, also on paper it doesn't sound as cool, because you can think of this as an Age 2 fort shipment that has a resource cost of 1,100 resources, being the 600 wood and 500 coin you need to make the fort, as well as a very long amount of construction time in order for your explorer to create. So that makes one wonder, how good is this card? Does it have any viability in Age 2? What's the fastest you can get a fort up? How long does it really take to build a fort, and what can reduce the build time? And that is what this video I bring you today is for. So let's get into it. Thankfully, the Knights of the Mediterranean expansion has included the wondrous ability to see the building time for pretty much any building in the game while it's constructing. You just click on the foundation and it tells you how much longer is left to build. It also tells you the base build speed if you just click it, and that base build speed is basically if you were to put 1 settler on it, or 1 of what the generic unit that can construct the building is. In the fort's case here, we can see we place the foundation and then keep our explorer away from it, and we can see the base building, the base construction speed, if I put my explorer on it, is 150 seconds. That is 2.5 minutes of construction time, which is quite a long time, to say the least. Especially in Age 2, where everything happens so fast, right? So what can we do in order to change this? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that it is not just your explorer that can build the fort, but sentinels can also build the fort. Now, I did some testing and found out that the max number of builders on your fort is 8. All right, so only 8 units can actually build the fort. So we build sentinels, and I put 1 sentinel on I started just putting 1 sentinel on the fort construction to see how long 1 sentinel would take, because I figured the work rate surely was not the same as the explorer, and it would change the build time. And lo and behold, 1 sentinel takes 442 seconds in order to create a fort by himself, which is a little long and less than ideal, I would say. I think most people would agree that that's quite a long time for building construction. That's 7.5 minutes, by the way. 7.5 minutes for 1 sentinel to make the fort. Now, seeing this, it kind of made my spirits drain, and my hopes for this card which I was already on the fence about because of its high cost, kind of lower a little bit. Next, I tried it with 5 sentinels, because that is a full batch of sentinels, and the results are roughly 200 seconds for fort construction time, which is still almost an entire minute slower than just the explorer does by himself. Still not exactly in the green here. The next test I did, obviously, was with all 8 Sentinels, filling up all 8 slots on the fort. 1 had 442 seconds, 2 had 199 seconds, and 3 had, as it turned out, 142 seconds. Hooray! We are actually faster than the Explorer now. It took all 8 of us, but we managed to save 8 whole seconds. Less than ideal, still, truly. But this is something that, you know, we can work with, because there's still one more thing we can try, and that's to do it with the best possible unit combo that we can, which is 7 Sentinels and our Explorer. The total time it took for 7 Settlers and our Explorer, the best possible combo, was 120 seconds, which is 30 whole seconds faster than just the Explorer. We're saving half a minute here, which is pretty important as far as I can tell. In regards to an actual game. However, there is one more thing that we can do to try to boost this further, and although this isn't exactly practical in a real match for the sake of getting a fort out as fast as possible, it's still something I wanted to test out, and that is the Malta Bailiff card. A card that gives your Explorer an aura that cuts the construction rate for buildings around him by 1/3. And by that math, it should theoretically be 80 seconds. So I sent a card, and indeed, lo and behold, it lowered it down to 80 seconds. This is the absolute fastest that Malta can make a fort, and may indeed be the absolute fastest anybody can make a fort. I can't say that for certain, though, because USA might be able to make it faster through use of the inspiring flag, which does in fact raise building speed, so that remains to be seen. However, at the moment, this is the fastest possible fort construction time I know of outside of a wagon. Obviously, this is specifically constructing with units and not with wagons. But how fast and early into a game could you actually make a fort? And that is what the second half of this video is all about. So, the best way to go about it would be to start with an economic 3 villagers, probably bypass the 3 churches, so that we can save a little bit of extra wood, and build 2 houses in Age 1, and age up with the Quartermaster. This provides us with 400 of the 600 wood we need. We could chop 300 in transition, which would get us the 200 we need in combination with the 400 for the fort, as well as 100 wood for a hospital, so that we can train some sentinels for the sake of constructing the fort that teensy bit faster. During transition, we would set most of our villagers to coin and some to wood, and leave just like 3 or 4 on food. Gather a whole bunch of coin. As soon as we hit 500, we chop the wood we need. As soon as we hit that wood threshold we need, we switch everybody over to coin and food evenly, so that we can try to produce sentinels as fast as we can. As soon as we hit Age 2, we send our fort construction card, collects the 400 wood, and as soon as it arrives, we start building with our Explorer and toss in the sentinels afterwards. And what this results in is 8 sentinels and your fort, and 22 vills at the 7 minutes mark. This is, I'm pretty sure, the absolute fastest that any civilization can get a fully fledged fort on the fields. 7 minutes isn't even that bad either, and you could probably go a little bit faster if you got some good treasures for it. This is honestly surprisingly quick, as I was not expecting to be able to get this at anywhere near as fast. This is almost fast enough to like stop any rush, and any rush that would come in would have to target your Explorer first and pretty much all of your Sentinels. This is potentially a rush killer, assuming that you can start building up your economy afterwards to back it up, which I have not actually tested in any kind of build order capacity yet. Today's test was all about the objective of building a fort in your base to stop rush in its face, and that is what I bring you today. Now, I don't have any kind of build order ready or set up with this yet, but I wanted to put this out there because there's potential here. I think there's potential. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day, and goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This was, as ever, a ton of fun to make. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out, and have a great day.